Hi, and welcome back to This Week at Apollo. Today we have Aaron, our engineer, back in the show. He made an appearance for the first time about a month ago, and the response was fantastic. So we figured let's check back in and see what's been new. Yeah, Aaron, how are you?
Pretty good. It's an interesting time of the year. There's a lot of project being finalized, I'd say.
Finalized?
Up to a point. Yeah, like the pro beta is happening.
That's exciting.
Super exciting.
So you got the pro beta that you mentioned, and then I guess what else has been going on behind the scenes? If you can just kind of give us an outline of the things you've been working on over the last few weeks.
Yeah, so we are doing the final pre-production sample of the rover, let's say. So we're finalizing a lot of things on the rover light. Well, now we're calling it the rover.
Go.
Was it go? Yeah. We still don't know. And then also the Explorer. We are finalizing, we're getting a really good sample done right now of the Explorer. And it's finished as of today.
Okay.
And they're shipping it tomorrow. I think they might have some little final touches, so that's going to be very exciting.
Fun touches? As in...
No, final touches.
Final touches.
But also fun touches. There's things I'm not sure if Elo has mentioned, and I'll let him be the one mentioning them.
Some Easter eggs, potentially?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that's super exciting. And then, what else? There are other even models that we haven't even mentioned yet that we are starting to plan and looking into for 2024, 2025.
Good.
So that's good too. No, there's a lot happening, but again, the Explorer, the Rover, Go Light, and the Pro, we're all in more late project stage. That 10% it takes to 90% of the time.
Right.
So
I see. That's super exciting. So let's start with the one that I guess is closest to hitting the market, which will be the Pro. Right?
Yeah.
So as most of the audience knows, we are expecting to deliver it at the end of this year, and the final stage before production is our beta testing. Right. Yeah. So we had 150 riders ride these scooters for 500 kilometers for a few weeks, and then check in with you guys through interviews and surveys to share as much of the feedback as possible. So what have we learned about the Pro so far?
Yeah. So far I think we've had 16 of those focus group sessions, and we have 28 total. So that's a lot of information coming from our user.
I can imagine.
We're finding out it's really repeating. People are finding the same issues throughout, which is a good thing. That means there's nothing there was no critical issues that we found, but there were many things, many improvements that we were able to do, and honestly, I think it was the best thing we've ever done for the Pro. Just in terms, now I look at the Pro and it's really exciting. The future models, the full production model is really solid. So some of the things that we've changed, I don't know how much Aloha has talked about.
As far as this show goes, we don't know anything about the beta learnings. So give us an overview, I guess, of what we discovered and how we fixed it.
So one thing that a lot of users had recommended, so I'll start by the handlebar. So first, whenever it folds, currently does not lock. We might be implementing something in the production. We're still unsure because we need to modify a lot of the molds, but we do have a design done where you can fold it locks in place. Then coming down, we added more screws holding the headset because some users had some of their screws stripped, and we also changed the type of screw in the headset so to ensure that they don't strip, because we had a handful of users says that whenever they try to put their screws in, it stripped. Then coming down the locking mechanism, we had some tolerance stacking issues where paint and then manufacturing tolerance, it would cause some interference and potentially affecting other things. Like coming down the front suspension, we added bearings. Rear suspension, we added bearings in it just to eliminate the possible chance of any kind of noise coming out of the suspension. Then there's a lot more. The grip tape, we changed the design on the grip tape.
That's news, even to me, I think, at this point.
Well, we added it more around the rear handle, so we made it go further up.
That's what I mean. Extended it,
yeah. So we did not change the design. Okay. Sorry.
Just your name engraved in the middle of the grip tape. I see. Okay.
Exactly. And then there was a lot of app issues as well.
Cool.
So I'm going to say 60% of it was not really issues, but feedback, comment, things that we can improve.
Bugs. I mean, that was I think when we touched base with Aloha before the beta rollout. That was the main, I think, focus area for us to improve in, right? We knew that it's such a software-heavy scooter. We knew that's where most of the issues were going to come from, and so it seems like that was in fact the case. The software feedback was, would you say, more than the hardware feedback?
Yes. But I feel like software feedback or the hardware feedback are harder to fix. You know, it's like you have a hardware, like it's a different suspension, there's big parts you need to change. Software things you can just push updates, which is awesome. You know, because So like in a sense, yes, there were more of them, but in my they were less severe. Let's say, they're less impactful because users know they will be fixed like within 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Right.
So what we've been doing is we have a huge list, compiling everything, giving it like I don't know, like scores. You know, it's like what's more important, what's less important, and then we can focus on knocking what we think is most important.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the list is getting big. Like we're compiling as 150 users. Every user at least had 4, 5, 6 different points.
I'm sure, yeah.
And a lot of them did repeat, but in total, I think we have like 50 different improvements.
And I think that's sort of where the art of product management comes in, right? You have to be able to decipher between what is genuine feedback versus what is just almost a wish or a request, right? Like I'm sure people were kind of asking for things like, you know, can you put an extra wheel? Could I have a Pro with 3 wheels on it, right?
Or bigger battery and lighter.
Exactly. You're like, okay, well, this is sort of outside of the scope of what we're trying to do here, right? But going back to hardware, so you talked about the handlebar, you talked about the folding, you talked about the grip tape. Were there any surprises, I guess, for you in terms of what you learned?
I think what I learned was the folding mechanism, the paint that we put on. Like, you know, whenever we did all the analysis, I did account for paint, but I think paint was thicker, or like paint and also just like manufacturing. So there was like machining tolerance, like, you know, I think it was 0.3 millimeters plus the paint, which is point something, like forget the exact thickness, but just everything. So we had a half to 1 millimeter tolerance, and in some cases we were bumping 2 parts together. It was too tight.
I see.
So I did not expect all those things to, especially the paint one.
Right. Well, it's sort of like this idea where we have a plan, we have the model, everything works in theory, and then you execute in practice during production, and you realize this, you know, 0.1 of a millimeter could actually have huge consequences in terms of where the stress goes and how the 2 parts interact together, right?
Yeah. So that was a big learning for me. What else? Yeah, you just trying to make the design like during assembly to make sure there's like dump proof right from the get-go, you know, so like there's no way of screwing up the assembly. So that's something else we're trying to do. Like no pinch wires. We had we had a handful of issues with pinch wires. So whenever it's assembled, you know, they put the cap on, they squeeze the wire, and the customer receives it, and it's not working well.
Right.
So just like trying to do the assembly at the factory in a way where like we don't need QC, you know, like the QC is done just through the design aspect of it, and then QC is like an extra step where we make sure that you know, everything was done properly.
Right.
So there was some of that too, just making sure that we eliminate issues in assembly and not like through QC.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense, and I think, you know, it was our first time putting these products together for everyone, right?
Yeah.
So a huge learning curve, and I think having spoken with a lot, it's pretty amazing to see how positive the feedback has been from the writers and the beta testers. I mean, you know, we've delivered a number of products in the past, and I think we've learned a lot from each one of the launches, and there's a reason why we didn't launch the Pro in time for summer, why we decided to basically forgo this season and test it again instead, so that realistically it's going to be, you know, a product that's in stock, that's cruising as of spring of next year, right? Like, we're not expecting
honestly, even financially, I think it would have been a big mistake if we launched it, because all those little issues would, you know, people would be returning, we would have to fix it. Yeah. So then just waiting 1 year, and then we're gonna have a really good product, like extremely good product.
100%, and I think that the final point here is just that with a product that costs as much as the Pro, there's no tolerance for mistakes, right?
Exactly.
Like, you're getting the cream of the crop, the best, and you know what, when we talked about it a while ago too, we kind of said this idea of like, when you buy a Pro, you're not just buying a scooter, you're buying the tens of thousands of hours, the hundreds of riders, the thousands of kilometers that have been put on these products prior to you getting your unit. You know, you're really standing on the shoulders of all those that put in their time into making this product perfect. And I hope that we're able to communicate that to future customers, because it truly is unlike anything else on the market today.
Even just like something else we've been doing a lot of the rig testing. So on all of our 2023 lineup, and even like future model, we're just kind of redoing everything because we got a new machine, we got a new testing machine. So we're trying to adapt. Now we have 3 different testing machines. You're kind of trying to like figure out the settings on this new machine to like replicate the older machine, but this new machine can really test it. Like it's crazy. We can break a scooter within 3 hours. It's complete. Like it's just, we can really test the scooter really quickly. So we've been redoing
that's
everything,
great.
and on the Pro, we did 10,000 kilometers on that treadmill. We were up to 10,000 kilometers with I forget exactly how much weight, but it wasn't like 400, 500, 600 pounds on the scooter, just the whole thing banging for 10,000 kilometers. It held up really well.
Wow. We should probably do a whole episode dedicated to that.
Yeah,
that specific rig, because it's so just. It's crazy how intense it is, right?
Yeah.
Every time I see those videos, I just feel bad for the scooter that's on the rig because
this new rig, it's a treadmill, but it also swings your handlebar at the same time. It tests the whole scooter, like worst case scenario.
And it sounds weird probably to those listening, like why would you want to break a scooter in 2 hours? Well, the whole issue is that our scooters have started to become so strong and so reliable that the rigs we had been using previously, we're just not breaking them fast enough.
It would take 15 days.
That's it. And then you want to put 10,000 kilometers on it, you're looking at months, right?
Yeah.
So we were sort of looking for how do we break scooters faster so we can essentially accelerate some of the testing that we were doing.
Yeah, because oftentimes it breaks not exactly, but in a similar way, in a similar area. If we just apply more force and try to make everything go faster, we'll find the area of breakage, and then we put it into the machine that replicates real world better, and then we really see what's the life cycle of the individual parts. So that's exciting too.
That's super fascinating. I think we could probably do a whole episode dedicated just to QC and testing, because obviously that's been a lot of work has gone into that over the last year. So let's bookmark that for the future. And I want to be mindful of time. I know we're coming up on 10, 12 minutes here. So in terms of the other projects you mentioned, I'm sure everyone wants to hear about the Apollo Go that is in the works. We announced it a couple months ago. When is it coming? What is it looking like? Is the V3 different than the V2? Anything you can share so far?
I don't want to steal anything from Aloha. But yes, a lot has changed. Suspension wise, there have been some addition suspension wise, so that's super exciting. And the weight has been brought down a little bit. I did a lot of FEA analysis and tried to remove some weight here and there on some parts. Some parts were, I think the neck was 6 pounds, just the neck itself, and we were able to remove 2 pounds. It was overkill. And we had factors of safety of 6, 7. It was way overkill. So we were able to reduce the weight of the neck. There's a lot of changes. I don't want to steal the show, but
so it sounds like there's going to be substantial kind of
it's exciting.
The V2 and the V3.
Okay. And we are going to a show soon. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it.
The micromobility show?
Yeah. So we'll be going to a micromobility show, and knock on wood, we'll have some Go samples there to present, and then it will be the final grand reveal, I think, of this product. So I'm super excited about that. We're
awesome. I mean, for anyone listening, if you're in San Francisco, I think it's mid-October, but if you just Google the dates for Micromobility San Francisco, you'll see it. Highly recommend you swing by. It'll be a great event.
So I don't know. I guess I'll keep that one a surprise, but a lot of changes. Super excited. Personally, it's my favorite scooter.
Me
too. The one I've been trying to ride the most. With the samples we have here, we're trying to save them in case we need to ship those to San Francisco. So I'm trying to.
You're holding back.
I'm holding back, but I love it, man. It's so light. It's fun. It's fast. It's extremely fast.
Well, and it's funny because I keep obviously checking our community pages and stuff like that, and people always have the same sentiment, which is I don't want a 60 kilo, overkill scooter that goes 80 kilometers an hour, and I also don't want the cheap Xiaomi that goes 20 kilometers per hour. I want something that's about 20 kilos, has dual motors, and can still go for 25 miles. And nothing like that exists on the market today. It's crazy that somehow there's never been a product to fill that need.
The Go the Go really fills that well. I live in kilometers. I live 10 kilometers from here, and I can go there and back, and I still have quite a bit of range left. And I have it on third gear, full pin. It's almost as fast as the city.
It's crazy, eh?
It's really fast.
It's 36 volt. That's the magic of dual motor. Is it just completely changes the dynamic of the scooter. And
there's no rattling. It's I don't know. It feels like premium. I love it. I'm excited.
No, totally.
Anyways,
Cool. Okay, super exciting. And Aaron, just before we let you go, you have a little bit of a personal change happening at the same time. Do you want to just share maybe what's going on?
Yeah. So my wife got she's going to be an engineer she's going to be working in the engineering team or design team, I should say, with Lululemon here in Vancouver. So I'm super excited for her. She is extremely excited. She loves the job. So far, she loves it. Every night she talks to me about it. So we are moving to Vancouver. And so she's already there. She's been there for 3 weeks now. I'm moving next week. And I'll be doing most of the engineering work there. I'll be bringing samples there, and we have a 2-bedroom, super nice office.
Nice.
So I'll have a lot of space to work with that. So I'm
Fill the
excited.
scooters.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. And even we might be able to incorporate other part of the company, like marketing. You know, we'll have Scooter in BC. We'll be able to do videos on the West
Where
Coast.
this is going.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm super excited. Just Pro Make BC is there too. We have a lot of riders in BC, even in the focus group. A lot of them were from BC, so I'm excited to like meet the community. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next 2 years in terms of like, I don't know what's gonna happen in BC, like starting up or. I'm excited. I see a lot of potential.
Well, that's a huge change.
Yeah.
And
we also have another employee there as well right now. So.
Yeah, super exciting. So I mean, I was in BC a few weeks ago, and I was just going for a walk with my girlfriend, and we actually bumped into a beta tester.
That's
in
sweet.
Vancouver, just casually chilling on the bench, you know, and I remember that moment only because his Pro was parked next to one of those classic Chinese Frankenstein scooters that was just like, you know, probably one of those like dual 4,000 watts, 72 volt battery, like one of those that just, you know, dual stem. And I looked at it and I was like, this looks ridiculous compared to the Pro, you know? And he was like, yeah, everyone's been stopping me on the street to look at the Pro and talk about it. So super exciting. Cool.
Very cool. Thank you.
All right. Well, Aaron, thank you very much for sharing. We're all super excited for your move and can't wait to catch up next time.
Yeah. Catch up next time. See you guys.